So formulation and evaluation of shampoos. As in this today's presentation, we will see introduction of the shampoos, ideal properties of the shampoos, function of the shampoos, classification of the shampoo, contents of the shampoo, manufacturing process, as well as the evaluation of the shampoo. So in introduction, we will see that these are the cleansing preparations of your hair, which are utilized for the nourishment of the hair to impart the natural gloss as well as the bulkiness and to remove the unwanted debris as well as sebum present in your hair. So these are the viscous type of preparations. Some shampoos are clear as well as opaque in nature. Generally, in the shampoos contain the 20 to 40% of the insoluble solids, and most of time the pH of the shampoo is ranges between the 5.5 to 6. Then viscosities of the various viscous shampoos or the cream shampoos is lies between the 500 to 1500 centipoise. So this is the little bit introduction of your shampoo. The shampoo, the word is derived from the word champo. So this shampoo is the hair care product which is used for the removal of oil, dirt, as well as the various kind of skin particles, dandruff, then pollutants because of the environmental condition that pollutants are deposited. So that all we can easily remove by using your shampoo. Basically, these are the surface acting agents. See, this is the human hair structure. Already we have seen regarding the hair structure, which present the your medulla, cortex, as well as the cuticle. So when we are applying your shampoo, it generally cleanses your hair shaft and it removes the presence of the hair attached debris, sebum, as well as oily products, as well as the some sticky dust. The ideal properties of the shampoo. When you are thinking about the shampoo should be a smooth and impart the smooth and shiny structures to your hair, as well as it should produce the foam. Actually, there is no requirement of such kind of foam, but for the satisfaction of the users, there should be a production of the foam. So for that purpose, we used to add the foaming agent. Then next ideal property is that there should not be any kind of irritation to the scalp. When we are applying the shampoo, most of shampoos contain the irritating agents, or when the concentration of surface acting agent is too much, so that may cause the irritation to your skin. So there should not be a such kind of irritation when you are using the shampoo. So the formula should be adjusted with the optimum concentration of your surface acting agent. Then when we are applying the shampoo, so this is the first requirement that it must remove the dirt which is present in the scalp as well as the on the shaft of the shampoo. Then another thing is that it should impart the good fragrance, as well as when we are applying the shampoo while washing, it should be readily removed by the gentle washing. Then another kind of requirements are there, or the another kind of function of shampoo are there, that is it should completely remove the dirt. It should protect your hair by making the small or the thin film on your hair. Then there should be a proper cleaning of the hair when you are applying your shampoo. Then it should give the soothing effect to the scalp or the skin. Then there should be a proper nourishment of your hair should be happen when we are applying the shampoo. It is depending on the formula of your shampoo. If the vitamins are added into the shampoo, then nourishment will be takes place. Then it should treat the dandruff, lysis, as well as the other kind of scalp problems. So when we are using the medicated shampoo, so in that case we can have the such kind of advantages that dandruff can be removed, lysis will be killed, as well as some other kind of fungal infection if is there, then such kind of scalp problem may be reduced. Now, the types of your shampoo. So there are several types of shampoos are there. Previously, we had no such kind of technology was developed. So that's why only powder shampoos were used for the cleansing of the hair. Then after that, little bit modification was done and liquid shampoos prepared. Again, modification is done and lotion shampoo were appeared. Then after that, cream shampoos are there. Nowadays we are using the cream shampoo. Then jelly shampoo was developed. Then aerosol shampoos are developed, and after that, specialized shampoo was developed. So depending on the development of our technology, we have developed from powder shampoo to specialized shampoo. Under the specialized shampoo, there are the, depending on the requirement of your user, we can have the conditioner shampoo, anti-dandruff shampoo, then special for baby purpose, that is baby shampoo, as well as the two-layer shampoo. So these are the different kind of types of your shampoos are there. That is from powder shampoo, liquid, lotion shampoo, cream, jelly, aerosol, and specialized shampoos. So these are the different types of shampoos are nowadays available in the market. Most probably powder shampoos are nowadays eliminated because there is no that much requirement or the demand is there. Then this is the just name wise classification of your shampoos. Then after that we are having the another kind of classification of your shampoo. So first base is the appearance. On the appearance we can have the different types of or the different class of shampoos. Then on the basis of its function we can categorize your shampoos, and on the basis of origin also we can have the different classes of the shampoo. Then based on the appearance how the your shampoo is looks, so depending on that we can have the different types of class. So cream shampoo, oil shampoo, and anti dandruff and medicated shampoo. So these are having the different kind of, we can say, appearances like semi solid, liquid, as well as gel like structure. So depending on that also we can have the classification. Then based on the functions, so for what purpose we are using the shampoo, for that purpose we can classify it. So first one is the conditioning shampoo. To impart the conditioning effect on the your hair, we can have the different type of conditioning shampoos. Then anti-dandruff shampoos and therapeutic type of shampoos are there, or medicated shampoos are there. So anti-dandruff shampoos are having use for the removal of the dandruff, as well as the therapeutic shampoos are nothing but the medicated shampoos which are used to treat the your problems of the scalp. So this is the one type of category. Then baby shampoos are there. See, these baby shampoos are specially prepared for the children purpose because the optimum concentration of surface acting agent and preservative is maintained. If the we are using the adult shampoo for the baby shampoo, then there is the itching or the some skin related problems may be appear because babies or the childs cannot tolerate the higher concentrations of preservative as well as the higher concentration of the specially surface acting agents. Then another kind of shampoos are there. They are called as the balancing shampoo. See, these balancing shampoos are nothing but the containing the various kind of nutrients or the vitamins to give the proper nutrient or the to maintain the proper balance of vitamins inside your scalp, or they will provide the required quantity of various nutrients for the proper growth of the hair. Then clarifying shampoos are there, or we can say simply cleansing shampoos. So cleansing shampoos are used to remove the your dirt as well as the debris, as well as the to impart the cleaning look to the your hair. See, these are the examples, that is conditional shampoo which are available in the market. Then based on the origin, generally shampoos are prepared by using the, we can say, natural originated products like from the plants. We can use the different types of products, and then that extracts can be added into the your base of the shampoo, and we can prepare the herbal shampoo. Simply plant originated material we are using for the preparation of shampoo, they are called as the herbal shampoo. Nowadays herbal shampoos are utilized more than the your other type of shampoos. Then shampoos by using the egg yolk. Egg yolk is having the conditioning effect as well as the surface acting agent. So by using the egg yolk, we can prepare the shampoo. So these are the two types of shampoos basis on the origin of that surface acting agent. Now, composition of the your shampoo. Basically, your shampoos are nothing but the, we can say, having a lot of concentration of the surface acting agents to give the cleansing effect. So that is the main role of your shampoo, to remove the your debris and dirt which are stain on your hair shaft. So for that purpose, we have to add the surface acting agent, as well as the another requirement is the to impart the good conditioning effect, or the, we can say, to improve the natural gloss of your hair. your hair should be look like a shiny as well as the bulky. So for that purpose, we are adding the conditioning agents. So these are having the near role of as like as your surface acting agents. Then some other kind of additives we have to add, that is we can say stabilizing agent as well as fragrancing agent to give the extra characteristic to your shampoo. See, when we are applying the shampoo, how the your debris or the dirt is removed from your hair shaft. So it is the nothing but we can say surface acting agents which is having the action on the dirt or the we can say dust which is stick on your hair shaft. Generally we are applying routinely oil to your hairs, and that oil catches the dust from the environmental air. So sometimes it may be stick very fixed, or it may not be easily removed by your gentle washing with the water. So when we are using the shampoo, it contains the surface acting agent, and everybody have idea that surface acting agent is having the good solubility in the both cases like water as well as the oil phase. So your surface acting agent act on your oil phase, and it will try to solubilize that oil with your water, or it will try to lose the surface tension, and then that derbies or that dirt will get easily removed from your hair shaft. Then when we are using the gentle wash with the water, then with the help of your surface acting agent, we can remove that deposited oil or deposited derbies from your skin. So there is the, we can say, formation of the micelles which can cause the elimination of the sticked material from your hair shaft. Surface acting agent is the main component of your shampoo, and mainly there are the anionic type of surface acting agents we are using in your preparation of the shampoo. The sometimes we have to improve the foaming action of your shampoo. For that purpose, we used to add the secondary type of surface acting agent which will give the good detergency as well as it will form the big foam. Actually, secondary surface acting agent will also help to the primaries or the main surface acting agent. So there are the two types of surfactants we are using into the shampoo, that is primary surface acting agent and secondary surface acting agent. Primary surface acting agent is mainly useful for the cleansing purpose or the detergency purpose, and the secondary surface acting agent will try to improve the your detergency or to improve the foam. Then other type of additives we are using into your surface action, your shampoo, that is the opacifiers, clarifying agents, anti-dandruff agents. So depending on your utilization, we may add the such kind of agents. These opacifying agents will enhance the shiny look of your shampoo. Only when we are removing that shampoo for utilization purpose, then it will opacify the look of your shampoo, or it will give the translucent look to your shampoo. Then clarifying agents are there which will give the, we can say, which will impart the clarification of your shampoo. Then anti-dandruff agent we are adding to remove the dandruff, or sometimes only anti-dandruff agent is main principal component of the shampoo may be possible when we are preparing the only anti-dandruff shampoo. Then conditioning agent we are adding to improve the conditioning activity of your hair, or to impart the conditioning look. Then thickening agents we are adding. Thickening agents are nothing but the, we can say, viscosity enhancers. Then sequestering agents are there. What are the sequestering agents? Generally, when you are using the tap water or water containing the high concentration of the solids, or the TDS is very high, so in that case, the soluble metals in your water may sometimes deposit on the hair shaft, and it may give the, we can say, uh, bright or the dry effect on your hair. So because of the deposition of such kind of soluble metals, it may cause the, you can say, bright as well as the dry effect on your hair. So this kind of sequestering agent will avoid the such kind of deposition of the metals which are soluble in your water. So this sequestering agent will make the complex with the such kind of metals which are present in your water, and they will not allow them to deposit on the hair shaft. So this is the utilization of sequestering agent. Most of time when we are using the high TDS water for the washing purpose, then your hair may become very much dry, as well as the light effect will be there on your hair, and in that case breaking of the hair may be possible or the increase. So to avoid the such kind of conditions, we may have to add the sequestering agents. Generally they binds with that metallic material, and they will avoid the deposition of such kind of metals on your hair shaft. Then perfumes are added to impart the good perfume action. Coloring agents we are adding to give the good color to your shampoo or to make it attractive. Then preservative we have to add. Sometimes your shampoo may get the may have the we can say microbial attack, or to increase the stability of your shampoo we have to add the preservatives. So these are the roles of various kind of agents for your shampoo. Now the types of your surface acting agents. Generally, there are the three types of surface acting agent, like anionic, cationic, and non-ionic. And additional category is the ampholytic. So these three types of surface acting agents are available. Under this anionic surface acting agents, most probably we are using for the preparation of your shampoo, and non-ionic surface acting agents sometimes are added to impart the or to support the anionic type of surface acting agents. Generally, cationic surface acting agents are not chosen because they are having the little bit toxic effect. So that's why whenever it is required to use them, we have to use them into the very low concentration. Then ampholytic type of preparations are surface acting agents are there. Generally, these kind of agents we are adding for the giving the extra support to your primary or the secondary type of surface acting agents. Then conditioning agents we are going to add into your shampoo. Generally lanolin, mineral oils, as well as your herbal extracts are there, which are generally added as a conditioning agent into your preparation. Then foam builders are there, lauryl monoethanolate, then sacrosinates, generally added to increase the foam capacity, because when foam is developed, so it should be remain for the longer period. So for that purpose we have to add the foam builders. So generally it will give the or it will enhance the characteristics of your shampoo. Then viscosity modifiers are there. If you are preparing the viscous type of shampoos like cream shampoo, then we have to enhance the viscosity. So to impart the good viscosity, we can use the electrolyte type of viscosity modifiers like NH4, Cl, sodium chloride. Then natural gums types of viscosity modifiers are there like gum karaya, tragacanth, alginates. Then cellulose derivative is there like hydroxyethyl cellulose, methyl cellulose. Then carboxyvinyl polymers are there like carbopol. Then other type of viscosity modifiers are there like polyvinyl pyrrolidone, phosphate esters and their derivatives. So these are the examples of viscosity modifiers which will impart the good viscosity to your shampoo, and it will give the ease of utilization to the ultimate users. Then sequestering agents like EDTA we can add as a sequestering agent, ethylene diamino tetraethyl amino acid. Then opacifying agents are there. These opacifying agents are alkylamines and their fatty acids, then propylene glycol, then other type of derivatives as well as the stearic acids and spermacetic acid. So these are the we can say opacifying agents which will give the we can say attractive look to your shampoo. When ultimate user is going to utilize that shampoo, so it will be get you can say attracted toward the your shampoo. Then clarifying agents are there like solubilizing alcohols, phosphates, non-ionic solubilizers are there. These kind of agents are utilized to increase the solubility of such kind of your uh, if you are adding any type of drug, as well as they will try to solubilize the other ingredients which are present into your shampoos. Depending on the requirement, we may add the clarifying agents or may not. Then perfumes are added from the fruit or the various kind of floral fragrance are there. So depending on the choice of manufacturer, he may choose any kind of perfume. Then preservatives are there. Preservatives are added like methyl and propyl paraben. Generally, formaldehyde may be used, which is found to be a most effective one for the shampoo's purpose. So to give the good stability or enhance the life of your shampoo, we have to add the preservatives. Then anti-dandruff agents are there. So to remove your dandruff from the scalp, so we have to add the selenium sulfite, zinc pyridine, salicylic acid as an anti-dandruff agent. See, these are the various formulas I have shown you, that is regarding the preparation of that shampoo. Powder shampoo, lotion shampoo, liquid shampoo. In the powder shampoo, we may use the simply henna powder, soap powder, sodium carbonate, potassium carbonate, and borax. So in the powder shampoo, we have to, prior to utilization, we have to take that powder and we have to dissolve it into the little bit amount of water, and then we can utilize that powder shampoo. Then the lotion shampoo is available in already in the liquid state. So little bit amount of lotion shampoo we can rub on your palm and we can apply it on your hair. So this is the lotion shampoo. So the content is the TLS, then glyceryl monostearate, magnesium stearate, water, color, as well as the preservatives. Then other kind of shampoo is the liquid shampoo. SLS is there. Then sodium chloride, water, and perfumes. So they are the liquid shampoo. Then cream shampoo is there. SLS, cetyl alcohol, water, color, perfume, as well as the preservative. So the difference is that in cream shampoo we are adding the viscosity enhancer and we are converting liquid to the cream. Then aerosol shampoos are there. They are specially prepared by using the aerosol type of container with the high pressure. When we have to we are pressing it, it will produce the required foam on your hair, and gently we have to wash out with your warm water. Then jelly shampoos are there. Just appearance is changed. In this jelly shampoo, gel base is prepared, and then we are adding the remaining type of preparations. So these are the different types of shampoos like cream shampoo, aerosol shampoo, and jelly shampoo. Then conditioning shampoos are there. Under the conditioning shampoo, we are adding the stearyl dimethyl benzyl ammonium chloride as a conditioning agent, and then ethylene glycol and monostearate, cetyl alcohol, water. Then after mixing them, we can prepare the conditioning shampoo. Then two-layer shampoo is there. That is the we are required the SLS, sodium lauryl sulfate. Then coca, mido, propylamine oxides. Then lauramine, lactic acid, and formaldehyde. Then baby shampoos are there. In the baby shampoo, we require to add the magnesium lauryl sulfate, that is MLS. Then polysorbates, PEG, preservatives, citric acids. So the concentration of material we have to monitor very carefully, because the higher concentration may lead to the itching problem to the baby. Then under the another kind of category is there, that is anti-dandruff shampoo. Two examples I have shown here. Then herbal shampoos are there. In the herbal shampoos, generally we are using the extracts of plants or their parts for the preparation of your shampoos. Natural essential oil, blend of that oils we can use. Gorgum is there. Then Camomilla sinalis, green tea extract is there. Glycerin. So these all are most of components we are derived from the plant extracts. Okay, aloe vera, which is very known to you. Then burdock root. Then polysorbates are there. Then saliva, salvia officinale is there. Salvia officinale sage leaf extract is there. So these are the different we can say constituents are there, which are we have extracted from the plants, and we are using them into your shampoos. Nowadays they are becoming very much popular one. Not only herbal shampoos, but herbal creams are there, as well as the other kind of herbal products are there, herbal oils are there. So they are popularized because of the we can say low side effects as well as the natural effects, and compared to your other type of synthetic shampoos, they do not have the side effects. It means that what are the other shampoos we are preparing, they may have the serious kind of side effects. That's why we are moving toward the utilization of the herbal products. Now the manufacturing process or the method of preparation of your shampoo. Generally in the shampoos, we are using the number of ingredients. We have to divide them into the two parts. water soluble ingredients and water insoluble ingredients. Generally, triethanolamine and stearic acid is not getting mixed properly with the water. So we have to dissolve them separately. Stearic acid we have to melt and we have to add the triethanolamine. Then we have to heat that mixture separately up to the 65 degrees centigrade. Then in side by side we have to take the your purified water. We have to heat it properly up to the 65 degrees centigrade, and we can add the water soluble ingredients like preservative and other ingredients. Then both phase we have to mix thoroughly at the 65 degrees centigrade itself, and after the mixing homogeneous mixture when formed, then we have to cool it. Then lastly we have to add the perfume. Why we are adding the perfume at the last? Because perfume is will get vaporized when we are adding it at the higher temperature. So after the cooling itself we have to add the perfume, and finally we can add it to the final container and we can go for the packaging of that shampoo. So the simple procedure is there for the preparation of shampoo. Simply we have to divide your ingredient into the two part, and both the ingredient we have to heat separately up to 65 degrees centigrade, and then finally one phase we have to add into the another phase, and we have to mix it thoroughly till the homogeneous mixture is formed, and finally we have to add the perfume, and then we can keep it into the your final container. Now the evaluation of your shampoos. So when you are preparing your shampoo, so your shampoo must be evaluated for their qualities. Generally, there are the different types of evaluation aspects are there, like performance characteristics and product characteristics. Performance characteristics means what? When we are utilizing your shampoo, so how it is getting, it is having the performance, or at which degree it is giving the service to the your ultimate user. So depending on the performance characteristics, we are having the different types of test. So first test is the foam and foam stability. So the foam and foam stability means what? When you are using your shampoo or applying your shampoo on the hair shaft, whether it is producing proper foam or not. So that is called as the foam and foam stability. Then when the foam is prepared, for how much longer period your foam is having the stability. So that is also called as the foam stability. So how much time is required to produce the foam, and up to which time your foam will be remain stable on your shaft or the hair. So that is called as the foam stability. Then detergency and cleansing action. Detergency means whether it is having the good cleaning action or not, whether it is producing foam and it is clearing your debris as well as unwanted material from your shaft or not. So here detergency and cleansing action may affected by the hardness of the water, surface tension of the your ingredients, as well as the surfactant contents and its analysis. Then rinsing. Generally, when we are using the shampoo, how much time it is taking to rinse out your remaining material or to rinse out your hairs in the your shampoo solution. Then conditioning action. Conditioning action means what? Exactly, conditioning effect is nothing but the impartment of the softness to your hair, improvement of the luster of your hair, then impartments of the lubricating action onto your hair. Then is there any effect of your shampoo on the body and the texture of your hair? So that is all are coming under the conditioning action. Is there any irritation action, or is there any toxicity to your scalp, as well as the any kind of dandruff control appeared or not? Then microbiological assay we have to carry it out, whether in your shampoo any microbial attack is there, whether your preservative is sufficient to kill the microbes or not, whether there is the proper we can say utilization of preservative or not. So in this case we can go for the microbiological assay simply to check the presence of the microbes. Then eye irritancy test. Eye irritancy test means when we are applying the shampoo, whether it is causing any irritation to your eye or not, because biomestically it may lead to the irritation of the eye, or some baby shampoos are there, it may cause the eye irritation of the babies. So here we have to check the irritancy characteristics of your shampoo. So these are the different types of tests we have to carry out when we are utilizing the preparing your shampoo. Then product types of characteristics are there. In the product characteristics, when whether your shampoo is having the good fragrance or not, whether it is having the attractive color or not, whether your shampoo is having the good consistency, or we can say proper viscosity or not, whether it is having the good packaging or attractive container or not. So they are coming under your product characteristics. Then how to perform this kind of test? Now foam stability as well as the foam producing characteristics. Simply you take the little bit amount of your shampoo and mix thoroughly with the little bit amount of water and vigorously shake it. What will happen? It will cause the production of the foam. Or we can take the measuring cylinder up to the 100 ml capacity, and in that 1 gram of shampoo we can add up to the 100 ml water, and simply just stir it properly, and when after stirring it will produce the foam. Just note down that how much quantity of foam is produced. You can measure it into the ml. Then after that you just record the time of production of the foam, how much time is required to produce that foam, and then after that up to how much time your foam is remaining stable. So you can note down the time into the minutes, that up to how many minutes your foam is having the good stability. So by this way we can check the foam as well as the foam stability. Then detergency and cleansing action. Actually we are using the shampoo for cleaning purpose or to remove your oils or the debris from your hair. So it should have the good detergency as well as the cleansing action. So for that purpose simply we can take the bunch of hair. So there is action. When you are using your shampoo for cleansing purpose as well as for its good detergency purpose, so it is considered that it should have the ability to remove your unwanted material from the hair shaft. So to check this, we can take the little bit amount of hairs or the bunch of hairs. We have to dustify that hairs, or we can say we can add the soil on that hair and just remove the upper layer of your soil just by, we can say, shaking your hairs. Now suppose your hair is having the deposited soil, take the weight of that hair, and then after that you take the shampoo into the beaker, and then you make the solution of that shampoo. Suppose we have taken the 1 gram of shampoo, then add the 100 ml of water and make the solution of that shampoo, and then clean your bunch of that hair by using that shampoo, and then dry that hair, or then wash it with the water, normal water, and dry that hair and check the appearance of that hair, whether your hair is having the removed soils or not, or we can go for the reweighting of that hairs. When you are added the soil onto your hair, the weight of that hair was increased, and after the washing weight of that hair should be decreased. So by this way we can check the detergency action or the cleansing action of your shampoo. Simply the intention behind this test is that whether your shampoo is having the ability to remove the dust or the stick soil from your hair or not. Then wetting action. Wetting action means what? When any product is not having the good wettability, then we are using the wetting agents. So in this wetting action, we have to check the whether your shampoo is having the good wetting property toward your hair or not. When you are having the hairs, bunch of hair, just dip that hair into the solution of the shampoo and note down the time at up to how much time your hair will get wetted. So by this way we can find out the wetting action of your shampoo. Then rinsing action. Same way, when you are mixing your hair, bunch of hair with the solution of your shampoo, then whether it is giving the proper rinsing action to your hair or not can be checked by using the same method. Then conditioning action. In the conditioning action, same method you have to follow. Just prepare the your solution of shampoo and dip the bunch of soiled hair into your shampoo solution and just rinse it properly, or just wash it with that shampoo solution, and after that wash it with the plain water and dry it properly and look the effect of that shampoo on the hair property. There should be a improved glossiness, there should be a shiny look to the hair, then only we can say good conditioning action has been occurred onto the hair. Then microbiological assays. When we are going to check the presence of microorganism into your shampoo, so by using your routine type of procedure, we can prepare, we can check the presence of the your microbes. Simply for that purpose, we have to sterilize your shampoo to avoid the, we can say, effect of presence of your microbes, and then we have to sterilize your media and other kind of equipment which we are going to be utilized. Then whatever the nutrient agar or the nutrient medium you have prepared, in that media we have to add the small amount of your shampoo, and then we have to keep it for the growth of that microorganism. So here we can take any kind of media which is suitable for you, like soybean casein or soybean casein digest agar media, nutrient agar media. Then after the 7 days or after the 14 days or within 24 hours, also we can check the presence of microorganism. If the microbial growth is there, it means the added preservative or added microorganism antimicrobial agent is not having the ability to kill the microbes. So by this way we can check the micro presence of the microbes. Then evaluation of the eye irritancy. Now it is mandatory that whatever the preparation is prepared, so it should not be irritant to the your eye, or it should not have the any kind of irritancy, or simply it should be a safe one for the your child or for the ultimate users. So for that purpose, we have to carry out the eye irritancy test. So this test is carried out by using the rabbit as an animal. So here we have to prepare the solution of your shampoo, and 0.1 ml of sample of that shampoo we have to administer into the conjunctiva sac of the rabbit, and then we have to observe the for various kind of reactions. If the irritancy is there, it means there is the redness will be there, or the itching of the will be there, or lacrimation will be there. If there is no any kind of such effect is observed, it means that your shampoo is not having the irritancy. So by this way we can find out the irritancy test of your shampoo. So there are the various kind of conditions after the administration of the your sample into the eye cavity of the rabbit. We have to monitor that rabbit for 24 hours, then after that for 48 hours, and for the 72 hours. If there is no any such kind of problem is occurred, then we can say that your product is passed for the eye irritancy test. The next test is the viscosity test. Viscosity is the, we can say, consistency of your shampoo, which is given to your shampoo by additional of the your thickening agents or the viscosity enhancers. If you have added the optimum concentration of viscosity enhancer, then you should have the, we can say, optimum viscosity, or the your shampoo must be handled by the easily by the your user. So such kind of viscosity can be determined by using the any kind of viscometers. Generally we can use the Brookfield viscometer for the checking the viscosity. Then skin irritation test is there. By using the animals, we can check the irritation test or the irritation of the your shampoo. So for that purpose, we have to take the rabbit. First of all, you remove the hairs of that rabbits or the particular patch you have to prepare on the backside of the rabbit, and then apply the your prepared shampoo on the particular patch, and then we can wait for the any kind of hypersensitive reaction. Sometimes edema, inflammation, redness may be happen. So if such kind of reaction are appeared, it means your shampoo is not suitable for the skin. If there is no any such kind of reaction appeared, means your shampoo is safe. Then pH of your shampoo, which is most important one. So the pH of shampoo can be checked by using the digital pH meter or the pH paper also. Generally, for that purpose, we have to dissolve the 1 gram of shampoo into the 9 ml of the water, and then that solution can be tested for the pH. So this was about your all kind of shampoos.